Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. This month we are working on Sun Salutations, and there's many variations of the Sun Salutation. It's called Surya Namaskar in the Sanskrit. Today we're just going to be working on Sun Salutation A or Surya Namaskar A, and we're going to be doing that standing as well as up against the wall. If you want to take it to the floor, absolutely fine as well for today. So I want to go through a few positions that are really important to proper sun salutation. And the first one is called the chaturanga. Chatta can be done also chaturanga. That's a pun. So we can do it wrong and we can hurt ourselves and we can hurt our shoulders. So I want to practice chaturanga standing upright, and we'll just bring our arms to the front of our body with palms up. And you're imagining that you are in a plank on the floor because that's where chaturanga is done from. We're going to do it chaturita. So I want you to notice that you cannot see my elbows. They're not out here. So I want you to tuck your elbows in, and then we are going to pull our arms straight back to where the hands are about right in front of our chest. That would mean that we're almost down onto the ground with our chest, right? And then not necessarily way back here because now my body's just on the floor. So I want you to think of where the floor would be, and that's where your stopping point is. So right from here, we're going to draw back and press forward. So when we've been working posture, we've been talking a lot about pinching our shoulder blades back together, which is a good thing, yes, but not in chaturanga because we don't want our shoulder blades to collapse back. So I want you to think about keeping the shoulder blades really broad across your back. As you pull back, try not to let this happen. All right, so we're keeping that control as we come back and as we push forward. So we can do this just standing up and practice. It's a good dress rehearsal to make sure that our elbows aren't coming out, that our body and core is really neutral. And let's do that one more time. Come back and forward. Now, in a traditional sun salutation, that's done with your hands on the mat and from your knees or toes. But if you've got some wall space, let's come over to the wall and notice where my hands are in relationship with my shoulders. I'm not up here. I'm really not even directly in front. I'm kind of below. I want you to walk your feet back, come on your tippy toes, keep your elbows in, and come right about to your face, almost to the wall, and push away. Now, some of you that have rotator cuff injuries, shoulder problems, maybe this is even going to be too much for you. So then you go back to here and pull back and push forward. So from the wall or standing, or if you want to take it down to the floor today, I'm not going to demonstrate any floor chaturangas, but those of you that know how to do them can take them down to your mat. All right, let's do one more from the wall or standing. And then lower your arms down. So put that in your muscle memory as we start to move through the first part of our sun salutation. And based on your shoulders, that's going to determine how far you lift your arms above your head. Feet about hips distance apart or closer together. We'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up any amount. Exhale, soften your knees and swan dive into forward bend. Now, this is our first forward bend of the morning, unless you've been picking things up off the floor today. So we'll just do a few of these. Inhale, come up. Exhale, dive down. If your hamstrings are super tight, I want you to bend your knees a fair amount through this so that you're not putting any stress into your lower back. If it bothers your arms to lift them above the head, you can just come up with your palms at your heart. Inhale. Exhale and reach down into your forward fold. Now, Sun Salutation A is pretty basic. There's no warrior poses, there's no chair pose. It's just a very basic forward fold into what we call the half series vinyasa. So we're warming up through the hips. If you're sweeping up, we're getting a nice warm up through the shoulders. And I want you to focus on good alignment of the spine. One more time, we'll inhale up, come into your forward fold. And some of you might be really folded forward, that's okay. We're going to do two little actions here. From forward fold, we'll inhale to what we call half lift. So I'm coming up until my back is completely level with the floor with a nice neutral spine. Then we exhale back into our forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And those of you that have been with me the last couple of weeks when we talked about the cervical placement with the L at the chin and the sternum, when you come up, inhale to half lift, that space should be perfectly oriented in that neutral position. And exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then we'll inhale to rise all the way up, maybe sweeping those shoulders or arms out. Exhale, thumbs come to the heart center. So that's a nice sequence we can put all together as a flow. So we'll inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive down to your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, neutral spine. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, thumbs to the heart center or arms by your side into mountain. So that's that complete flow. We'll do it 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Softening your knees any amount. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, mountain pose, hands either to heart or by your side. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, down into forward bend. Inhale, half lift. Really nice neutral spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale to mountain. Last time, breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out and fold. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out and fold. Breathe in all the way up. Exhale to your mountain pose. So that is the front and the back of Sun Salutation A. It's like the 2 pieces of bread in the sandwich. So what we put in the middle might be peanut butter and jelly, might be lunch meat and cheese. That's the in-between part, which we call the half series vinyasa. So we're going to do a half series vinyasa standing up. So what I want you to do first is a down dog standing up. So we are going to keep our legs straight or slightly bent. We'll hinge forward from the hips, and we are going to reach our arms out long in front of us. Now, shoulder issues are going to dictate how high your arms are up. And then maybe lower back, how far you're folded forward. But this is our down dog. Now we're going to come back up with the arms out in front of us for our chaturanga. So this is plank. Bend the elbows to chaturanga. Lift the heart a little bit. This is our standing baby cobra. It's a little bit of a back bend. And then push to your down dog. So the arms go forward, the hips go back. So from here, we rise up to our standing plank. Standing chaturanga, pulling the elbows back. Standing baby cobra, lift the chest a little bit and push to your down dog. Isn't this interesting, doing this standing? Let's do that 2 more times. So we come up to plank. We pull the elbows back to chaturanga. We lift the heart to a standing cobra. And then we push to our down dog. Hips go back, arms go forward. 1 more time, rise up to plank. Chaturanga, we're exhaling. Cobra, lift the heart, inhale. Exhale to our downward dog. And then let's just stand back up to our mountain pose. So again, you may be deciding to do this from the mat because you know how and you know that your body's capable of that. That's great. We're going to try it on the wall if you have wall space. If you don't, continue to do it standing. So we're standing in front of the wall. We're going to bring our arms to the wall just a little bit below our shoulders, walk our feet back. And this is our wall down dog. And again, let your shoulders decide how much of a stretch you want to get here and how far your feet are away from the wall. You might have to try a couple. So give yourself a nice shoulder stretch. Then we'll inhale to come forward to our plank, and you can come up on your tiptoes because that's how we would be in a plank on the floor. We'll exhale to our chaturanga, bending the elbows, and then we'll lift the chest a little bitty back bend into our cobra, and then push back to your down dog. That's the half series vinyasa on the wall. Let's do it again. Inhale, come forward to plank. Lift up on the tiptoes a little bit. Exhale to bend your elbows close to your body, chaturanga. Inhale to lift the heart, standing cobra. Exhale back to downward dog on the wall. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, come forward to plank. Lift up on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the elbows, chaturanga. Make sure they're not out to the side. Inhale, baby back bend, our little cobra or up dog. Exhale, back to your down dog. If the wrists or shoulders are hurting, come back to do it standing without the wall. Last time, inhale forward to plank. Lift up on the balls of the feet. Exhale, chaturanga, but not wrong, chaturita. Extend and push back to your down dog. Now from here, we'll just walk our feet forward, a couple of steps, step away from the wall, back to our mountain pose. All right. Are we confused? Because those of us who have done it on the floor, it's a thought process to take this over to the wall, but I hope it's making sense for you. So we're going to do the complete sun salutation standing up, no wall. Those of you that want to go to the floor for your half series, go for it. Otherwise, let's try it all standing. So we start in mountain. And I'll go nice and slow. We'll inhale to reach. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straight back. Exhale, fold. Bring the arms forward so you're in your standing down dog. Rise up to plank, standing plank. Bend the elbows, standing chaturanga. Lift the heart, standing cobra. Push to your standing down dog. Arms go forward, hips go back. Lower down with the hands into forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, inhale, coming up. Exhale to mountain pose. Ooh, that feels like a long sequence. It is, and it's the most basic sun salutation. So let's do it 3 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, soften the knees. Swan dive into your forward bend. Halfway lift. Check your cervical placement. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring the arms forward, standing down dog. Rise up to plank. Chaturanga, elbows come back. Heart lifts, standing cobra. Push back to your standing down dog. Hips go back, arms go forward. Lower down, forward bend. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. And back to your mountain pose. Pause and rest for a moment. 2 more standing sun salutations. Inhale, reach. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Slightly tuck that chin. Exhale, fold. Inhale, the arms lift. You'll come into down dog. And then come up to your plank. Bend the elbows, chaturanga. Lift the heart, cobra. Push back out to down dog. Lower down, forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, come up, inhale. Exhale, mountain pose. We have 1 more to do, but I want you to just check in. Those of you that have done the traditional sun salutation, how is this feeling different in your body? And for me, I'm feeling more in the back of my posterior chain from keeping the balance and the stability in my hips as I'm doing this standing up. It's a totally different experience. Let's try it 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bending your knees as much as you need. Inhale, halfway lift. Neutral cervical spine. Exhale, fold. Rise up to your down dog. Arms are in front, any height. Rise up to plank. Bend the elbows back, chaturanga. Lift the heart, cobra. Push to down dog, standing. Lower the upper body, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. Exhaling to mountain pose. Wow. Boy, I had no idea my hamstrings would feel that so much. That's a good thing. It's a good working hamstring. Okay, I'm going to try it on the wall. Same process. We just have hands on the wall this time. If the chaturangas bothered you the first time, then keep it standing up. So stand fairly close to the wall, but enough that you can just kind of touch with your fingers. We'll inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, bringing the hands to the wall. You might have to walk your feet back a little bit. Take your down dog on the wall. Then inhale, come forward to plank. Lift your heels up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra. Exhale, push back to down dog. Then you may need to walk your feet forward a little bit. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, come up. And mountain pose. 2 more times on the wall or standing or down onto your mat. Just 2 more Sun Salutation A. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach forward, hands to the wall or in front of you. Maybe stepping your feet back if you're on the wall. Take your down dog. Inhale, glide forward to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga, bend your elbows. Inhale, lift the heart. You're slightly pushing the hips into the wall. Exhale, push back, down dog. Maybe walking your feet forward a bit. Lower down into forward bend. Halfway lift. And fold. Reverse your swan dive. Come up. Mountain pose. Okay, last time. Your sun salutation wherever you choose to do it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Bring the arms forward, down dog. Shift into plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Down dog. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Rise back up. And back to your mountain pose. Great job. Such wonderful options for those of you that have wrist problems going down to the floor, shoulder problems as well, and it feels so good in my body right now. So we're going to advance this in our next yoga class, which won't be live next week, but the following week we're going to bring it down onto the floor. But those of you that need the wall, you'll have that with you. So it might be a good idea next week, those of you that are in my community, to re-watch this video next week on Thursday, since I won't be live. I think that would be a really good idea. Okay, so we're going to come into a warrior pose called Warrior One. This is used in Sun Salutation B, or Surya Namaskar B. So I'll face the top of my mat and step the right foot forward and the left foot back a fair amount. It's all up to you how far you step it back. Your back foot is turned out a bit, and we are going to continue our focus on posture today by bringing the arms in what I'm going to call beach ball arms. So I want you to imagine you're holding a beach ball, but you're holding it behind your back. So I'm going to slightly round my arms. They're kind of looking like this, like I'm holding onto a beach ball. They're back behind my body, and I'm going to push into the beach ball and create resistance. By doing that, also lower your shoulder blades down and slightly draw them together. Now, when that happens, your abdominals might relax and your back might arch. So I want you to keep your core really engaged as we hold this beach ball arms. So we're going to move the arms on the breath. Inhale to reach them forward any amount. If you have pretty healthy shoulders, they could come all the way up to the ears or any level in between here. I want you to figure out what works good for your shoulders. And then exhale, push them back and slightly together, holding that beach ball. We'll do that 3 more times with the breath. Inhale, arms forward or up. Exhale, down and back behind you, beach ball, squeeze in. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. 1 more. And exhale, bring it back to beach ball. Now you can either stay here with beach ball arms, or if you have the flexibility in your shoulders, you can interlace your hands together behind your back and squeeze the shoulder blades even more. Let's just hold here 3 breaths. 2. 1 more breath. Release the clasp of your hands or the beach ball arms. Bring them forward. Take an inhale. Press the palms at your heart. Exhale. Step forward with the back foot and step back with the front foot. Take that step as far back as you feel comfortable. Your hips should be squared forward and your shoulders should be over your hips. The front knee is bent any amount and the back leg is pretty straight. All right, let's bring the arms forward on an inhale. Exhale, bring them back and find your beach ball behind your back. Squeeze that ball. 3 more, inhale. Exhale. Is your cervical spine neutral? So eyes are on the horizon, straight ahead. Inhale. Exhale, beach ball. 1 more. Hold, either holding your beach ball or interlacing your hands. Find your maximum stretch through your shoulders that is pain-free range of motion. 3 breaths. Now make sure your chin isn't jutting forward. Slightly tuck it back in. Keep this neutral cervical alignment. And then release the hands. Inhale up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Step the back foot forward. Back to our mountain pose. Good. I'm going to turn to face forward, but we're still in our mountain. We're going to inhale to sweep the arms up. If it feels comfortable for you, grab the right wrist with your left hand and extend the right side of your body. You're just using that hand to slightly pull over. Now, if shoulders up and this isn't okay for you, then just bring the hands across the shoulders and side bend. Now, I want you to take this top shoulder, which is the right shoulder, and rotate it slightly behind you. So that's going to bring your eye gaze slightly up to the ceiling. If you have the arms, it's looking like this. So we have side bending with lateral rotation and a nice lat stretch, especially if you have the arm lifted. Now feel your weight into both feet equally, so try not to lean over onto the left foot more than the right. Then bring the shoulder back to face forward. Bring your body up to neutral and lower the arms down. I feel like I'm standing like this now. Okay, so let's try to get the other side so we can stand up equally. So let's bring it in and up. Option to take the wrist or to put the hands across the shoulders. And we'll lengthen the left side body into that side stretch. Good. This is fine right here, or even the arm hand down on your hip if you need to support. And then we'll take this top shoulder, the left one, rotate it back a little bit, and your gaze is going to slightly come up toward the ceiling. And I want you to breathe right in here. Good. Come back to center. Bring it up and lower down. 1 more each side. Inhale, reach. Choose your shoulder position. Open up the right side body. Rotate the top shoulder back. There's a lot of core work right here in the side body, in the obliques, in your back muscles. Shoulder comes back to the front. Body comes back up to neutral, releasing the arms down. One more time, breathe in. Side bend. Rotate back. To the front. Rise up. And lower down. Great. Okay, we are going to do the reverse of the rotation, but we're going to do it sitting down. If you have a chair and you want to sit in a chair, fine. If you want to come down to the floor with me and maybe sit on a little bit of a support, blanket or bolster. I'm going to sit in simple cross-leg pose, but you could also sit with your legs out in front of you or maybe at a little bit of a straddle position if this feels better for your hip flexors or for your lower back. And I'm going to sit just like this, nice up and tall. So that's the important part, is that you're able to sit tall and not to slump down. So think about sitting with good posture. So now we'll inhale the arms up. This time we're not going to pull the wrist, but we'll exhale and drop the left arm and do your side bend for your body. Keep both sitting bones down. Now instead of rotating back, I'm going to rotate forward and really reach across and open up the back body. This should feel like a wonderful stretch. Modify for any shoulder issues here. We'll open back out and come up and lower down. Good. Inhale. Exhale, side stretch. Keep that left sitting bone down. Keep this neutral head position. There's, for some reason, when we side bend, we want to look down where we're going, and then that brings that chin out of neutral. Then just rotate and reach across. And just imagine someone was pulling your arm, really easy, not hard, but creating this stretch. You're pushing it out there and reaching. Open back out. Come up and release it down. We'll do it one more time, and I want you to think about not relying on this arm to support you very much. Because when we were standing up, we didn't have anything to touch, right? We didn't have a support. So I don't want you to use the floor vigorously. I want you to use your core. Maybe you don't even touch your hand to the floor. That would be really a challenge. So let's breathe in. Breathe out. I haven't tried this without touching my hand, but I'm going to try and see what this feels like. If it bothers your back, make sure you're supporting, but just don't use a lot of the floor. And then rotate across. Ooh, that's a different feel, not touching the ground. Rotate open. Come up and lower down. That was a fair amount more work, not touching the ground. All right, one more time to the other side. We'll breathe it in. Exhale. If you need a little bit of support there, that's okay, or try not to touch the floor. I think what I'm finding is I'm not side bending as far when I'm not touching the floor. And then rotate, reach across. Ooh. Rotate back open. And come up, relaxing down. Okay, part of our Sun Salutation A is an important pose called the cobra. So we're just going to workshop cobra a little bit today. So you're going to come down onto your belly and get nice and comfortable there. Now sometimes if we're in this position for a while, your back might start bothering you. So give yourself permission to come out of it at any time and to stretch or to actually relax your head as well to the floor. So if we're over here onto our front side, I'm going to start from what the feet are doing. So for now, you can just put your hands underneath your forehead here so that you're relaxing your head and not holding your neck up. And take your feet about hips distance apart. Now you can bring them all the way together too. That's a little bit more advanced. That's an option to try, but let's start hips distance apart. And then I want you to push the top of your feet down into the floor fairly vigorously. In cobra, our legs are not just relaxed and on a vacation here, laying on our belly. We're pushing the top of the feet down. So from there, keep that activation. And then imagine that you have a thumbtack under your belly button, and it's kind of bothering you a little bit. So you're going to try to lift your belly button up towards your backbone a little bit. It's a weird concept. It's hard to do. But basically, it's asking you to activate your core a little bit. And then slide your hands right underneath your shoulders or a little bit further forward. And without using your arms very much, you can push down a little bit. We're going to lift the chest up. But notice this position of the chin and the sternum remains the same. So I'm not lifting my head forward, keeping it tucked. And then just lower down a little bit. Reactivate your legs. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. Reactivate your legs. Inhale, lift the chest. Keep that chin tucked. Exhale, lower. Reactivate the legs one more time. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower. And then we'll make a pillow for the forehead again and relax here. Or if you need to push back into a child's pose or a cat stretch, you can stretch the lower back. So in traditional cobra, we don't lift the legs up off the floor, but there's a pose called locust where we do lift the legs up off the floor. And we're going to do that one at a time. And when I say lift the leg up off the floor, it's not like this and bending my knee. It's keeping the leg as straight as we can and trying to pick the entire leg up off the floor. And it's very difficult. So just one leg at a time, lift it up and lower down. And the one that's not lifting, I want you to keep pushing the top of your foot and your entire leg down into the mat. So your legs are doing two opposite forces. So if your right leg is lifting up, your left leg is pushing down. And then switching, left leg lifting up, right leg pushing down. And let's do one more on each side, right and left. And it's okay if your whole leg doesn't lift off the floor, just try to lift it, and that'll activate the muscles we need to activate. All right, relax. I'm going to give you a second if you need to take any stretches here, because we're going to add the cobra lift with the leg lift. So our hands come back into that cobra position. Keep your chin tucked so you're not looking forward. And as you gently press down just a little bit, lift the chest while you're lifting the right leg and pushing the left leg down into the floor. And then lower down with the chest and the right leg. Lift the left leg and the chest, pushing the right leg down into the floor. We're going to do 3 more on each side. Chest and right leg. Lower. Chest and left leg. Lower. 2 more each side. If you are doing this correctly, pressing the bottom leg down, you're feeling a lot of work. Good job. 1 more each side. And then take a break. You can make a pillow for the forehead. You can roll over onto your side for a second and stretch your back. You can push to a child's pose. Take care of you today. And then we just have one last set, which is to lift both legs up. If that's not working for you, you're going to pull back and do one at a time, or no legs at all, and just work on your little baby cobra. So if you're ready, we'll activate both legs down into the mat. Push the top of your feet into the floor. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Then as you lift the chest slightly, both legs are going to come up any amount off the floor. And then when you come down, push the tops of your feet firmly into the earth. And lift. And lower. Let's get 4 more for 6. Come on up. It's a modification of our locust pose. 3 more. Gently squeeze the gluteal muscles. Try to keep your legs pretty straight. Last 2. And 1 more. And relax. And we definitely need to take a counter stretch for the back. So very carefully press yourself up or roll over onto your side. We'll come back into a child's pose or a cat stretch, or you can even roll onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. And that's fine if you do that, because we're going to be coming there next. So if you want to jump ahead and go onto your back and do a little bit of roly-poly by hugging your knees in and rocking side to side, that's great. 2 more breaths wherever you're at. All right, so those of you that might be in child's pose, let's go ahead and come onto our back. Get yourself comfortable there. So another nice counter pose to what we just did in back extension, of course, is flexion of the back. And one of my favorite poses for lower back rehab is called the wind relieving pose, which is basically knees to chest or knees to nose. So we're going to take a nice long spine here on the mat. If this bothers your low back, then don't worry about doing this with straight legs. You can always have your knees bent and kind of push that low back down into the floor a little bit. I'm going to cue to inhale to reach above the head, but you're going to decide how far you're lifting your arms if you have shoulder issues. So we can go all the way back above the head to touch the thumbs to the floor behind us, or we can come anywhere in here that suits our shoulders. So we'll breathe in. And then as you breathe out, bring your right knee up to your chest and give it a little hug in. And this is my worst hip right here. So this is about all that my knee will agree with, or my hip will agree with. And then lower it down, bring the arms up, inhale. Exhale, pull the left one in. I can go a little farther on this side. And then inhale, reach. Next time we bring the right knee in, we can actually do an abdominal curl up and bring the head up and the shoulders slightly off the floor, looking at the knee. And then reach it back, breathe in. Left side. Good. Now this time, as we bring the knee up, lift the head, we'll look over our right shoulder and turn our neck. And lower down, inhale. Left knee comes in, we turn the head left. And let's do 1 more on each side that way. If your head doesn't come off the floor, you can still turn your head right. Right, we can. And then other side. And then just relax your arms by your side. We're going to do a little bit of rotation for the hips. I want you to use your core to stabilize. Again, your knees can be bent. This is great. We'll bring the right knee up to tabletop, and then I want you to bring your knee out and your ankle in 3 times. Bring it back to table. Take your right knee out, your right ankle in, and one more. Rotate, in, and then lower that leg down. Bring the left knee up. The knee rotates out, the left ankle rotates in 3 times, and 2, and 1, and lower down. Okay, that's our first option. Option 2, inhale, reach above the head. Exhale, pull the knee in while the head and shoulders come up. Turn the ankle across. 3, 2, 1. Lower down and reach. Inhale. Exhale, left knee comes up. Ankle comes across, knee out. 3, 2, 1, and lay back. Inhale, right knee comes up. Right ankle across, hold it, and then bring this left knee up to find a figure 4 position. Hold it here and breathe. 3, 2, head can come down. 1, lower the left leg, rotate the right foot back to neutral, set the right foot down, inhale, reach. Exhale, left knee comes up, rotate the ankle across, bring the right knee up to meet it. Hold 3 breaths, option to support the head or set it down. Right leg lowers, left leg rotates back to neutral. Set it down, breathe in. We're going to do that sequence one more time on each side. Breathe out, option to curl head and shoulders up. Rotate the right ankle in, the knee out. Bring the left knee up to find it in your figure 4. Hold 3 breaths. So it's a little bit of a hip stretch, but it's a lot of abs. Lower left leg down. Bring the knee back to neutral. Inhale, stretch. Last time on the left. Exhale, bring it up. Rotate the ankle in. Bring the left leg up. Hold 3 breaths. You choose the neck position. Right leg lowers. Left ankle comes back to neutral. Left leg goes down as we take one more breath in. And then exhale your arms right by your side. So we're going to do a little clamshell here laying on our back, and then we'll bring it over onto our side. So bring your knees up to your chest. Bring your feet together and let your knees open and close. Open and close. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Allow your feet just to find the floor. Knees are still open, and hold a little Baddha Konasana stretch. And then close your knees together. We'll roll to one side. Keep your feet together. Let your knees open and close. Open, close. So your feet stay together. This is external rotation of the hip. One more. Then you can either roll back to your back and to the other side, or you can press yourself up. I'm just going to do that since I'm going to be wanting to face you. Same position. Feet stay together. Open the knees. And this one on this side for me is very small and very slow. 3 more. Good for hip mobility. 2, very therapeutic. 1. Great. Now from that sideline position, press yourself up. Allow both knees to open here into our butterfly. Sit tall. And from here, you can go anywhere you'd like with it. You can keep your hands on the floor and just sit straight up. You can reach towards your feet and stretch forward. One thing we don't do in this pose is we shouldn't grab our toes and pull ourselves down. So we kind of have the ankles, they're nice and strong. Or we can press with our elbows and press out a little bit. That's a no-no for me right now. Let's take 2 more breaths here in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, butterfly. Good, 1 more breath. We'll rise back up to neutral. We'll take a breath together, sweep the arms out and up. Let's press the palms, bring our thumbs to the forehead today for positive thoughts for the rest of our week, to the lips for positive words, and to the heart for positive actions. And the light and joy that resides within me honors the light in each of you. Thank you so much. Namaste. I appreciate you joining me today. If you can stay for chit chat, that's great. If you jumped on class late, no yoga live next week, but I would love for you to repeat today's video on YouTube so you can work on making chaturanga chaturita. All right, let's get our Jitsi recording shut off. And we'll chat a little bit today. For those of you that have to run early or watching on YouTube, I'll see you next time.